Hello, I'm Joel Alcon at premarketinfo.com, and we're going to put a spin on the unusual trading activity that occurred this morning.
And I'm Dennis Dick, and this is what happened today. Algos gone wild here today. A rogue algorithm appears to have struck a number of stocks. There may be as many as 148 symbols that were affected this morning for a 30-minute time period from when the market opened until about 10 a.m. Eastern. Wells
Not
Fargo
30 minutes, not 30 minutes.
30 minutes, Joel. Let me just get through the headline. Wells Fargo Preferred Security JWF trades over 4.9 million shares. It normally trades 30,000 shares a day and trades down more than 10%. Verizon, Pepsi, Radio Shack, Best Buy, Wells Fargo all appear to be affected, and appears to be an auto buy program error on some issues and an auto sell program on other issues.
So someone couldn't just walk behind the desk and just pulled the plug on the computer that was doing this?
It's crazy. Let's explain what happened here, first of all. And what I'm showing you is the tape today from symbol JWF, which is the preferred security. I chose to focus on this issue because this normally trades 30,000 shares a day. It's traded 3.9 million shares. Almost all of this volume occurring in the first 30 minutes when this apparent rogue algorithm was working. And it looks like it started right off the hop. And what apparently happens is that this algorithm was automatically selling the bid. It had just basically held down the sell button and it was hitting every single bid that was getting bid. So you can see right off the bat, these are the trades. The price is 25.53, size 100 shares. The bid price 25.53, ask price 25.97. And right off the hop. But as you can see, it quickly starts to just smack all the bids. So instantaneously hitting 25.52, 25.52, 25.50, just knocking out all the bids, 100 shares at a time. So, and this is looks like on other stocks too is exactly what it was doing. It was just hitting 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100 continuously for 30 minutes straight. So quickly, JWF really starts to go down. And this is a stock that usually has a 5 or 10 cent range. It's just dropped 30, 40 cents. Watch, it just continues to go down. I'll try to speed up the tape a little bit here for you. Trading very, very, very rapidly, as you can see. 930.38, 930.42. We're already down 50 cents, and it just continues to knock out the bids. 24.81, 24.64. See the bids falling? It's just knocking them all out. But there's people that are buying too, so sometimes it'll trade up, but it was just hitting whatever was on the bid continuously.
Well, it looks like they got it a little bit under control by 9:38. That's when it hit its low at $23. I just want to point out that not only happened in a thinly traded preferred stock, but this activity spilled over into Wells Fargo, which I was watching off the open. I thought it could pop if it got above 34. I blinked and it was at 34.60 and made a new 52-week high. And just a note on Wells Fargo, it has already traded more shares than it did the last yesterday and the day before.
Yeah, it's traded 22 million shares already. I'm trying to download the tape. There is so many trades, believe it or not, that my tape is this slow at downloading because it's trying to download the quote. It's trying to download the entire tape. And just for the first 25 or first 30 minutes of the day when this apparent rogue algorithm was working, it's still trying to download them. So here it is. It's downloading them now. You can see just as your tape's going through. But same type of deal apparently happens where in this case, though, the rogue algorithm was automatically buying the offer, so in 100 lots. So whatever was there, it looks like it was automatically executing it continuously, and you can do it when it's an algorithm, it can do it pretty quickly, buying 100 lots. Obviously, some traders were starting to come in, and then they were actually putting offers out there, which was somewhat holding it down and keeping it somewhat contained, because some human traders who can rationally think were coming out and saying, look, this is ridiculous that Wells Fargo is rallying up here, I'm going to sell it. So they're actually holding the price down and kind of countering the rogue algorithm to a certain extent. But as you can see, it's still trying to download. I'm still trying to download that tape from Wells Fargo. There's just
Do you
so many
think? Do you
trades.
think? if do you think that if we didn't have pennies and sub pennies of pennies, let's say if we were trading at nickels and there would have been more substantial size
I don't
at
think that has
levels?
anything to do with it. I think
No.
this is just purely some rogue algorithm. It could have even been an institutional algorithm. Some people were speculating it was Knight, an algorithm over at Knight, but it's some type of algorithm. It could be a high frequency algorithm that was just continuously buying or selling the stock. It's taking me like 10 minutes to download the tape here on Wells Fargo, let alone just to analyze the tape. So we're trying to get this downloaded for you here. It's going to be downloaded in just 1 second here.
What do you think the ramifications are going to be from this? Or do you think that whoever did this is going to be forced to back all those trades and make them good?
I think whatever rogue algorithm this is, lost hundreds of millions of dollars here. Like you can see all these auto executions going off just at the offer. So just to highlight here, 34.64 is the offer, and then it starts trading 34.64 and 34.63 and 34.61. It's just automatically trading whatever is on the offer in 100 share increments. So I'm not sure the ramifications, what exactly is going to happen here. They may have to bust a lot of these trades. We haven't really seen. I know the NYSE is looking into it, and they'll probably give out a ruling. Whatever algorithm is on the other side of these trades lost hundreds of millions of dollars, though. So very, very scary. I just can't believe it can run for 30 minutes.
Well, it's unfair to bust these trades because
It's real people
either
trading it.
yeah, other people. I mean, if you bust your sell at 34.80 in Wells Fargo and 10,000 shares, and you covered it at 34.60, you're long at 34.60. I mean that
Very
makes a
difficult to come in and start busting shares when you've got real people trading this. Real people were making money. Humans were actually doing a lot better than the algorithms on this one today. I'm sure that's what held some of these stocks down. I'm sure that's why Wells Fargo didn't rally to infinity, because humans were coming in saying this is irrational and we're going to put out, and start selling it at these prices. Same thing with the JWF we were talking about earlier. It didn't bottom 8 minutes in. It kept going, but humans, big institutions were saying, look, I'll buy this the Wells Fargo preferred stock for 10% down on the day when it usually never moves, because it's a great deal. There's great value here. So you had value and all kinds of institutions coming in because it ran so long. It wasn't like this all happened in 30 seconds and nobody could respond. This started happening in the first few minutes, and I started looking like, what is this? And then it just and then obviously started ticking. This is some type of algorithm that's just running wild here.
is there any kind of restrictions, or is there anything that can be done to prevent this kind of occurrence?
I don't know. Like, I just don't understand how the plug didn't get pulled on this. Whoever was running this must have realized that something, like, I don't know if they were sleeping at the wheel or what it was, but if that thing was running and all of a sudden it's running like that for 30 minutes straight, after a minute, if I was running that algorithm, I'd be pulling the plug on it.
I'd be throwing my computer out the
Oh
window. I'd be
yeah, it's crazy. So you're talking about stocks like Wells Fargo. What was the high on Wells Fargo, Joel? 30.
34.80. It took out the 52-week
Yeah.
high that it and multi-year high that it just been struggling at the last few days, and got by that through 21 cents. And didn't Radio Shack have some
Yeah,
crazy?
I'm trying to download the tape on Radio Shack right now. Again, the system's slow. There's just so many trades that it's actually quite slow for me to download this tape. Usually these tapes download instantly, but we have hundreds of thousands of trades that went by in these 30 minutes, so it's trying to download all that information for you right now as we speak. But as you can see, Wells Fargo, crazy rally on this rogue algorithm. You had the JWF we just talked about, which was a crazy sell-off on the rogue algorithm. And hopefully here, I'm going to get this tape for you in a second on the Radio Shack.
Yeah, just a quick note on this Radio Shack, which traded 5 million shares yesterday. It's traded almost 12 million today. I certainly hope all those bottom pickers here at the 240 and 250 level had some offers out there, because I don't know, this may never trade 367 again.
No, I don't think it will. This is just purely, if you were in there and you got out of your stock, good for you in this whole debacle. The only problem I worry about is they might come in and actually start busting some of these trades. Somebody lost a lot of money. There could be a firm that could go bankrupt because of something like this. I don't think that much, but hundreds of millions of dollars. Depends how big the firm is, obviously, on the other side of this. But I would guarantee you there's hundreds of millions of dollars that were lost here. You can see Radio Shack. It's all 100 share lots. So the algorithm was just continuously buying the stock on Radio Shack for 100 shares. But look, it's buying at how many? One, two. I can see about 20 trades, 25 trades in a second there. So it looks like it's doing about 25 trades a second, And you can see there 294, same thing. So about 25 trades a second it looks like in 100 share lots. So it just continuously buys it. Every second it looks like it buys another, it does another 25 trades for 100 shares. And this just goes on for the entire, look how many, it goes on for 30 minutes straight. So it's buying 2,500 shares at the offer every single second in 100 share increments.
And
Uh,
it's gonna be extremely difficult for the exchanges to sort this out
oh,
because
oh,
a lot of times in this situation you can either have a bust or adjust. But in this
so many
situation,
trades.
there's so many trades and so many counterparties there
Yeah, and it's
that there's no way you're going to be able to contact all those people to see if they want to bust or
And is
adjust.
it fair because it was trading kind of normal? It wasn't like it all of a sudden trade up at 367 and all the way all of a sudden it's back down to 286. It climbed. It just the algorithm would not stop buying. It just kept buying and buying and buying. And it's buying. And as you can see here, it's very orderly. It's buying all these 100 share lots, about 2,500 worth every single second. And that buying pressure is just too much, and the stock continues to climb. And it climbs all the way up. We'll just speed up the tape a little bit here, but you can see after about 10 minutes into the day, it's already up at $3.30 on no news. This is just some rogue algorithm that cannot stop buying.
If Radio Shack's rallying, it must be some rogue algorithm.
That's the only. Well, we won't pick on Radio Shack too much here today, but Best Buy was the same thing again. So you can see it continues to climb until it gets up to about at 339, 343. So it actually starts to sell off because there's traders coming in and saying, "Look, I'm going to sell this thing up here. This is ridiculous prices right now," and they're actually selling more than the 2,500 shares that the rogue algorithm can buy every minute. So that's why the stock price actually starts to go down in some cases before the algorithms actually shut off. But as you can see, it continues to climb up here until you get to about 359, and then it appears to shut down. It appears that the algorithm shuts down at about 359, so 29 minutes into the day, it appears to shut down, and then the stock starts to naturally fall. And now the stock's back at $3. So you had this whole rogue algorithm just buying and it bought a lot of shares. It bought millions and millions of shares going up there. So you can add up the math pretty fast. If you bought say you bought 5 million shares, up 50 cents on the day, it's all of a sudden down at $3. So say if 5 million shares, that's $2.5 million he lost just on Radio Shack.
I have a question for you here.
Yeah.
Was this just in New York stocks?
You know what? I haven't actually seen a lot of the stocks we're looking at here in New York. I think it might have been just New York stocks. I haven't
And,
seen.
and the reason I bring that up is, boy, the New York Stock Exchange must really be happy that they opened themselves up to dark pools and
Yeah, now we're
have opened their arms to high frequency trading and algorithmic trading. And here it does. It start on Monday. Here it took 3 days to almost bring down their entire system.
Yeah, well, it didn't bring down the system, but it's that algorithm. Whoever is on the other side of that algorithm is in some serious trouble right now, and you can be sure that they are going to the exchange saying, look, you've got to bust all these trades. We've lost hundreds of millions of dollars, or at least, at a bare minimum, I would think they lost $100 million, because you think about the Wells Fargo volume, you think about the Verizon, millions and millions of dollars regardless being lost here. I'm downloading the tape of Best Buy right now. It's the same thing. Best Buy was driven up by this rogue algorithm up to $18.69. Buying, it appears the same thing, 100 share lots, about 25 every second, so about 2,500 shares worth a second it was buying, and it just overpowers the sellers.
You know what I think happened? I think whatever firm did this has just recently hired the traders that were let go at J.P. Morgan.
I don't know. I don't know. The whale traders? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Fat finger algorithms now, not fat
it's
finger
something
traders.
I don't
They
know.
couldn't
But
get the buy button to stop being pressed. So that's what I kept tweeting out. I was like, I can't believe they can't shut this down. It's one thing to let this run for 30 seconds. It's another thing to let it run for 30 minutes. That is insane. I'm downloading the tape of Best Buy. It's so slow to download because there's so many trades that went by. What was yesterday's volume on Best Buy? I'm just trying to get a feel for it. Best Buy has traded
yesterday.
7.4 million shares already today. I'm
Okay.
guaranteeing it was probably lower than that yesterday in the entire day.
The entire day yesterday was 7.38
So it's
million.
already done today's volume, and it did it pretty much in the first 30 minutes, and it was all buy volume as this rogue algorithm just continued to press the buy button again. So looking at the same thing, you can see it's buying all these 100 share lots, just buying on the offer. It looks like it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 900 shares, 1,000 shares worth every second it appears. So every second it's buying another 10 100 share lots, so another 1,000 shares every second, and just continues to drive the price higher. So you've had Best
And
Buy getting driven up, Wells Fargo getting driven up, Verizon was another one getting driven up, but then you had Pepsi on the other side, and Pepsi was actually getting driven down. Same type algorithm, but it was a sell side algorithm. Try to download the tape for you on Pepsi here.
yeah, and as far as the algo going into the buy market, it obviously wasn't looking at all that major resistance we have in the 13 in the
They weren't
1380s.
using
I mean,
technicals,
they
Joel. I
weren't
don't
using
think they were
technicals,
using
and that's the
technicals
thing
on
that
this
we
one.
try and stress, on our blogs and our shows and stuff. That these computers are just when they're running like this with no restrictions on them, they have total disregard for the actual mechanics, in the market.
Yeah, it was just hitting the NB. It was hitting the best bid on stocks like Pepsi. It was taking the best offer on Best Buy. So the program would be written like this, basically, just buy offer. 100 shares 10 times a second. And that's basically what happened for the Best Buy one. And the Pepsi would have been the opposite. Just sell the bid 100 times for 100 shares 10 times a second, and it drives Pepsi down. You can see the tape being downloaded of Pepsi here now. We'll try to analyze it here in a second. But Pepsi's done 6.9 million shares already. What was Pepsi's volume yesterday?
Pepsi's volume from yesterday was it's traded its volume from yesterday. Yesterday was 6.8 million.
So
Today it's
again,
traded
traded the whole
6.9
volume
million.
here in the first few seconds. Same thing. You can see it's all 100 share lots driving the price down as this algorithm. There it is at 9:30:44, just hitting every bid there, taking out all the bids. So next second hits a bunch more bids again. It appears to be. Let's just count them here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Looks like about 20 trades or so every. Well, this is a real lot of trades here happening. It's swept down a whole bunch of here at 9:30:46. It hit out a whole bunch of bids down to 72.13, and then
And
continues
it
to drive it down. You know what? It probably
and
triggers stops in there too. When you see all those other trades, it was probably triggering trader stops. So it wasn't even a matter of just the algorithm. Now the traders that have stops out there were getting executed too. That's probably why you've seen so many trades just there in Pepsi occur. It was hitting other traders' stop orders. Don't use stops.
and also just comparing this to the bat system debacle on their debut, they kind of had it relegated to a few symbols. But
Well,
here,
Bats was just their stock. The Bats thing was just their stock.
well,
Remember, it
they
was their
also had
IPO.
that
There
day
was
they
some rogue,
had
yeah, there was some rogue prints and some other symbols. But
in
Bats,
Apple
that was
there's
only
things
nine
like
seconds. They
that.
knew enough to shut it down at least after 9 seconds. They didn't run. So props to Bats for getting it shut down after 9 seconds. This is ridiculous. They ran it for 30 minutes. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. You can have a rogue algorithm running for 30 minutes straight and they can't shut it off. Because you know whoever on the other side, shut it off, shut it off, shut it off. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I bet you there's an opening for a software programmer at some firm on
Oh,
Wall
there is
Street
some.
today.
There's some people getting fired here today. So you can see, same thing on Pepsi. Just continues to drive it down. 71.80. It's about 1, 2, 3. It looks like about 10 or 12 trades every second. But you have stops mixed in there. You have real trades mixed in there. But it looks like it's still selling about 10, 1,500 shares every single second. So it's just hitting the bid for 1,500 shares every single second. You can see it drives the price all the way down. I'll just scroll up the tape a little bit here. Drives it down. What was the low? It got down to 71.09, which would have been down a buck 70 on the day. Now it's at 72.30, so it's come back a lot here yet. All on a rogue algorithm. This is insane today. Can't wait to see what the overall details are on this, but you can see the tapes are absolutely crazy.
Well, we complain, you can talk, and you can do all these things, but do you have any solutions?
Well, I think you've got to have some type of off switch, first of all. Don't be running high frequency trading programs that you can't shut off. Is it because it was co located and the person running it isn't even near the computer? I'm not sure, but you've got to be able to shut these systems off. After 10 seconds, Bats got their stuff shut off after 9 seconds. This went for 30 minutes. It's crazy. 30 minutes automatically hitting the bid. You will punish stocks. Anyways, that's a look at what the tape was today and all of this Algos gone wild action. Hope you enjoy our analysis and just don't use stop orders. That's the moral of the story, because if you're using stops, you probably got some real bad prices. Hopefully, these trades don't all bust because the market is just a complete mess. Once again, I'm Dennis Dick and with Joel Alconin for pre-market info.